Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time for the Funhouse Church, and this is Stella Parton, and I'm glad you have joined me today. It is a Mother's Day celebration, and I'm very happy to read some scripture for you today, and it's some of my favorite scriptures, and it comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, where King Lemuel's mother taught him a prophecy. And I'm not going to read all 31 verses, but I wanted to read at least from verse 10 on down. And it's talking about how women are enterprising and that they can buy their own property and be landowners and own their own factories, and they can have women working for them, and they can have people doing things for them, and their husbands can be proud of that, and their children will be very blessed by their prosperity that their mother has gone to the trouble to do. So when you think about that and how women's rights have, continually been taken from us, even in the Old Testament, in Proverbs chapter 31, she gives him this prophecy. Here I start now. Verse 10, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool, flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ship. She bringeth forth food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her helpers. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. I guess she's getting exercise. I guess you do when you work this hard. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow, for her household, for all her household are clothed with the best. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. As I was reading this, when I first began to read it, I thought about my own mother and how enterprising she was, and how my own father, even though he bought and sold lots of property and developed land and did very well with that, he never bought any property that he didn't consult my mother first and let her read over the paperwork and know all that was going to be done about it. And then her decision was the final decision. And I've thought about some of my sisters and myself and my aunts, and I think that women really should empower themselves. If we're waiting for others to empower us, then we're waiting a long time. So empower yourself. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, to my own sweet mother and my grandmothers, and to my aunts and to my sisters, and even my sister who has no children. She's always been a mother to our children. And happy Mother's Day to all of you. I'm going to sing you a little song now that I wrote some years ago. I don't know if this auto harp is in it. her own works praise her in the gates. Let her own works praise her in the gates. Charm can be deceitful, and beauty will not last. So let her own works praise her in the gates. She was born to be a woman, so fair and so fine, taught to love her family, to be gentle and kind, kept the home fires burning both day and both night, comfort to her husband, taught her children right. So let her own works praise her in the gates. Let her own works praise her in the gates. Charm can be deceitful, and beauty will not last. So let her own works praise her in the gates. So now she wears the finest silk, a red hat that's tailor-made, a purple scarf around her neck, a smile upon her face. She's a virtuous woman, doing good throughout the day. Her husband calls her blessed, her children give her praise. So let her own works praise her in the gates. Let her own works praise her in the gates. Charm can be deceitful, and beauty will not last. So let her own works praise her in the gates. Now who can find a virtuous woman? Who can find a virtuous woman? Happy Mother's Day. God bless you.